Ninjas, I'm back for my first ever reading vlog, I guess it's called. Basically, I just want to give a little update on what I am reading at the moment and what I have just finished, and some kind of thoughts about them. The ones I finished mostly might have fuller reviews coming on our blog. Sorry, it's very warm in here and I've had to shut the window because otherwise the street noise is like ridiculous. So if I'm sweating, sorry, it's just and my kids have got the fan downstairs, but never mind. I've got 4 books to talk about. 2 are finished, 2 I'm reading, and 2 are from the same publisher, but that's just because they're really awesome. Okay, so the first thing I just finished yesterday, I literally read it in a day, which is kind of unheard of for me. Especially since having kids where my attention span is shorter and I'm kind of doing more things at once. But yesterday I started and finished The Cost of Living by Rachel Ward, which is published by Sandstone Press, who are one of my favourites. You will have heard me talk about them lots recently. Also published Gears for Queers and several of my other favourite books. The Wolves of Lininsky Prospect, which we had in our September box last year. What year are we in? God. When we came back from hiatus anyway. So yes, this is The Cost of Living. It is the first Ant and Bee mystery, and I bought the 3 Ant and Bee books that are out so far from Sandstone Press directly. They've got a crime bundle where you can get a really good deal on those, so I will leave the link for that in the description. This is basically a kind of cozy murder mystery type thing, which I love. I don't like gory crime, but I really enjoyed this, and I'm probably going to read the second one today, to be honest. So Bee is a checkout girl. Basically, she works in like a local supermarket, and Ant is their newest hire. He's a bit rubbish. And then so it's just kind of about her working in the supermarket, and then a girl is attacked on her way home from the supermarket, and Bee decides she needs to do something about it. So she starts investigating the crime, gets involved in all sorts of things along the way, and obviously, as it says here, she has some help from Ant, who becomes less rubbish as the book progresses. I just really enjoyed this. The characters are lovely. They're kind of people you want to be like, what happens next to them? Which is fantastic for a series, obviously. It's really pacey. And there's lots of other stuff in it as well as just the crime mystery kind of element. There's lots of other elements that come into play. Like Bee's relationship with her mum and some stuff that's going on there, and I really enjoyed it. And also I just love this cover. It's so beautiful. We actually included this in our past publishers roundup of Sandstone when we did the Wolves of Lininsky Prospect box, and I put this on there as one that looked really interesting to me that I want to read. So I'm really excited that I have finally finished that, and I probably will talk about it in more detail on the Indie Book Network blog. So yes, there's that, The Cost of Living by Rachel Ward. I'll leave a link to the bundle in the description if you want to get it. I really would recommend it. The other thing I finished is not indie, but is fantastic, and it was on my summer reading this project pile, so I'll leave the link for that video if you haven't watched that yet, about our summer reading this project that I'm doing at the moment. Obviously The Cost of Living wasn't on that project, but we make TBR piles so we can ignore them, right? So this is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I think probably lots of people have heard lots about. It is amazing. It is really good. It's kind of told in the form of interviews looking back, and I had to Google the people to check they weren't real because they seem real. It's basically a rock band, and I've read that it's loosely based on Fleetwood Mac. It's a band that kind of splits up and brings in new people, and it's all the kind of turbulence of rock and roll, and like, I forget the actual year it's set in, but it's like the 70s-ish, 70s, 80s, or maybe earlier. Anyway, the later part of the 20th century. And it's really cool. The characters are just awesome, and it is really like true to things that we will have all read and seen and heard about rock and roll in that kind of era. And the way that bands work together. So yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six is unlike anything else I've read. So not indie, but still awesome. That's the 2 I finished. And then the 2 that I'm reading, because we're running the Indie Book Network now, I'm able to kind of give plugs to more books, which I love. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to just give a little shout out to Dangerous Ages by Macaulay. This beautiful cover from the British Library Women Writers series, which has begun during lockdown, and they are publishing the next instalment of books soon, I think, as well. The British Library, if you haven't checked out British Library Publishing, I'd really recommend it. We send out a lot of the crime classics in our pre-loved book subscriptions because they're always really popular. But this is the new Women Writers series, and it's fantastic. Dangerous Ages, so is basically about 3 generations of, well, not 3 generations quite, of women, but it's starts off with this one woman, Neville, and then her sister, Nan, and her daughter, Gerda, and her mother. So it's like 3 generations of women pretty much, and just kind of like their lives and the way society's changed their expectations of like what women do, and their jobs, and just what they can kind of expect from life. And it's really interesting, it's really well written. It's basically just like people do stuff, author observes the stuff they're doing and kind of talks about it a bit, but it's really good, it's really absorbing, and it's really like, I don't know, you're really rooting. There's like little twists and turns in the kind of everyday way, and it's just really interesting. I'm really loving it. I'm 3/4 of the way through, and it's just a lovely thing to pick up in the afternoon and like read with a cup of tea. So yes, I will definitely be talking about that on the Indie Book Network blog coming up, so watch out for that. Hopefully by the end of the month I will have that up. That is Dangerous Ages by Rose Macaulay, and thank you to British Library Publishing for sending this to me. So this was one that I was sent for free, so thank you very much to them. So yeah, and the last one I was also sent by the publisher, and this is Stolen Lives by Louise Hulland and published by the awesome Sandstone Press. So this is forthcoming, it's coming out in September, and it is really interesting. It's not an easy read because it is about trafficking and modern slavery. But what Louise Hulland's done is she's written this really informative, I'm trying to find the right words to describe this, because it is really kind of educational. It really gets into the nitty gritty of like what modern slavery looks like, and the way that we as a society have kind of learnt to are learning to recognise it in law, and as kind of citizens, as people who can be part of helping to stop it, and how you kind of look at what it is like. I believe that Sandstone are doing pre-orders with a donation going to modern slavery charity. So I will leave all the details of that in the description, so you can go pre-order it from them. We will definitely be talking about this on the blog, and definitely be featuring it in our newsletter and all sorts of good things. So all the links and details for that will be in our description. I am about 3/4 of the way through this as well. I've been reading it slowly because it is a lot to think about, and it's a lot of stuff that honestly I was minimally aware of prior to reading this book. So it's really good on that perspective. If modern slavery is something that you've only ever heard like adverts for charities or whatever, then I would really recommend pre-ordering this book, because it is a really good introduction to the subject and a really good way to get yourself thinking about it. So that's Stolen Lives by Louise Hulland, published by Sandstone Press. And that's it. That's all I've got to talk about for the moment. I am reading more books than that, but I can't find any of them or remember what they are. So it's the eternal book polygamist problem. I can never remember what I'm reading so that I can finish it. So I hope you've enjoyed our first ever reading vlog. And if you have, leave me a comment, let me know so I can make some more. And as always, subscribe for more bookish content. We'll be coming back soon with some other fun book related vlogs. Words are hard when it's warm. So if you like heat more than I do, I hope you're enjoying the summer. And if you like heat about as much as I do, then I hope you have like a bucket of ice water or a nice paddling pool you can sit in your garden. Or just like a way to keep cool. So sending sympathy to my fellow warm intolerant friends. And I will see you soon. Bye.